Right here is cool. All right, so I'm here with the brother. Introduce yourself.
David X, aka D-Afri on Facebook.
Okay.
Some black spades knew me as Crazy Dutch.
Okay.
Harlem Division, 25th.
Wow, Harlem 25th.
Yes, sir.
So tell me more about that Harlem 25th Division.
Turn this way.
Where was the 25th Division at?
Well, that's what they labeled our division, but in Harlem, we really had no divisions. We just had like units or chapters, not even chapters, but crews. I'm saying that with crews. It's like we have crews today.
Okay.
So I was under Geronimo. I was hoping he would have made it and been to one of these venues here for our dear beloved brother Sunshine.
Right.
Because, and as a matter of fact, Sunshine and I were talking about collaborating, as you know, as a formation of original Spades. I don't even like to say original, but founding members of Spades, put it that way. And have them tell their stories because we don't want nobody else telling our stories.
Right.
So I'm glad you're telling part of the story.
Right.
Yourself and others who have also joined and told us stories.
So Harlem was 25th Division. You saying it was more like crews. What year is this? Like what year did you join?
Well, I can only talk for myself because I'm 56. So I can only say from when I came in when I was 13. So that was back in the 70s. Early 70s, because as you heard today, they said it started. Now that was a debate too, whether it started in 67, 68. You just heard the brother say 67. They formulated something, and it really didn't become powerful to 68.
Right.
That was the first wave. Then you had another wave that came along, as Guru was saying, it got a little edgy around, a little rough around the edges, so to speak, and they became something else in the formation of a gang. Because originally it was a crew too in the beginning when they first started, because as Khalif would say, it became a community protector, so to speak, from all the white elements and other gangs who were coming in on the community at the time.
But I'm saying, I'm gonna get them. I'm saying from your perspective.
Oh, my perspective.
When did you join?
Well, it's kind of ironic with me because I came into both fractions, being from Harlem and then coming into the Bronx in my later years because I always hung around Gun Hill Road, T Connection and those things, but I wasn't a member of the 22nd, so to speak, when we hung around in that divisions area. But my coming into when I lived in the Bronx was 169th Street when they came upon the Black Door.
69th?
169th
What's that,
Street,
Webster over there?
Boston Road.
Boston Road.
Where they had a place called the Black Door.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of Spades hung out there. I just found out today by talking to Brother Hyde. That sounds like Bam I'm talking.
So you talking like 75, 76?
75. Actually, it was a little earlier than that because I came in like 72, somewhere around that. Still in junior high school. Well, even really before that, being a young Spade, coming into the full Spade in my later teenage years.
Right.
But it sounded like a lot going on out there.
Come on, you want to go? Do a part two. Alright, so you were saying like you joined Spades 74 maybe? 75?
You just gonna take a picture real quick?
What he was doing, it's right. No problem. It's the bottom of my probably have people coming back. Oh, maybe over here. Trying to pick a spot where ain't nobody gonna come back.
Right here, you know?
Oh, that's the text.
Alright, so you're saying 74, maybe the time around you joined Spades, 74?
About 70s, 60s.
How old was you, like 13, 14, 15?
13.
13.
So that's like 73. 72, 70, because I was really 12 when I started hanging around. And I could have sworn I just seen Geronimo's sister there. I'm going to get at her later.
And, but like, what was going on? There was a lot of gang fights? What was it?
Well, in Harlem, we didn't have too many gang fights. We had like crews like from the Bronx that would come into Harlem, so we kind of like kept them off. Actually, the only gang per se that was in Harlem that was like an enemy with us in the beginning was the Black Daggers.
Daggers?
The Black Daggers. The Black Daggers.
What the bathroom right there?
So
It's on the other end.
He says go ahead. Where's that?
So y'all didn't have like the gang problems we had like in the Bronx, like all the gangs, Savage, No Man, Savage, Skulls?
No, because see, uptown, our jurisdiction was like 110th Street all the way up to like 159th, where the Polo Grounds is at. So you didn't have too many gangs in that immediate area. Now up on the hill, you had G-Force, which was cool with us. They was allies with us. The only other gangs we had a problem with downtown was like the Ball Busters, Intercrime out of Eden Mall. You know, used to come into Harlem sometimes because they tried to come to Harlem World. You know, other than that, we didn't have too many people.
So you talking mid 70s?
Right.
Middle, late 70s? Or early?
About I say from 77 to 79, because that's when that hip hop thing was really fluctuating around that time.
So this is the time period you're talking about.
Right.
It was mainly Spades in your side of the Harlem.
Right.
Now what Harlem part of Harlem do you?
This is like uptown Harlem, West Harlem, in that area. Anywhere from like 110th Street up to 159th Street.
That was all 25th Division?
Well, in that area, yeah, 25th, 24th, 25th Division, because the other Spades in Spanish Harlem or East Harlem was like the 33rd Division, 34th Division, those divisions like that.
Okay, so it was more than one division in Harlem.
Yeah.
And you was in the 25th, you said?
Right. See, I don't even know where those division numbers came from, and I'm figuring 25th because 125th Street was like the midsection, you know, West Harlem area, 24th, 25th, 30th Division, like I said, Spanish Harlem, all of those different divisions in that area. Well, we would just call it like Harlem Spades, Uptown Spades, things of that nature. And like I said, there wasn't too many gangs in that area. You had the Scorpions, the Grant Brothers out of 125th Street, but that was on the west side, and Broadway out of Grant Projects. And that was about it. We really didn't have any friction. Then even we hung out on the Lower East Side. We had cats with us from the Lower East Side Spades. Now they didn't have a particular division, but they were known as the LES Spades, Lower East Side Spades. You know, so that was about that.
You was born and raised in projects?
And actually I came from Taft houses.
Taft.
That's like 115. Well, they ran from like, what was it, 112 to 100. Yeah, 112.
There was a lot of Spades there
115.
in Taft?
There was a few Spades around Taft.
And that was all 25th Division? What was that?
That wasn't really a division. Like I said again, they were just like Harlem Spades.
Harlem Spades.
Because even, I'm going to tell you a story.
So that's better than y'all didn't have division. Y'all was...
We were really one.
Was y'all unified?
We were unified.
Yeah?
Because it's like, and it's crazy because from that 110th Street all the way up to 159th, everybody pretty much knew each other.
Wow.
Because we had our little reunions and gatherings.
Wait, 110th to 159, you talking about east and west side?
No, just the west side.
Just the
east
west
side was another part because they ran from like maybe 106th Street all the way to like maybe 125th on the east side, from like from Harlem River all the way to like maybe Fifth Avenue, Park Avenue, something like that.
So that was something different. So you talking about the
I wouldn't
west
say
side.
different because even like I said, when we had our reunions, or like a perfect example, Puerto Rican Day Parade or Puerto Rican Day Festival,
Right.
a lot of Spades congregated in that area. Wagner houses, Johnson houses, you know what I'm saying, over there on the east side of Harlem. Then you came uptown, you had Drew houses, the Polo Grounds, what other projects around there? Harlem River houses. You understand? So that was, yeah, bro. All right, brother. We'll talk. All right, brother. Thanks for coming.
Would you say that the Spades y'all died out? What happened? What happened? Late 70s, 80s, what happened to y'all?
Well, actually, we had a crew that came after that I'm one of the founding members of, called the Morale family. That's where, if you see in some of the writings, you see TMF, Spades. So that was after one of our members, Eddie Morales, who got killed in a fight, actually in the Bronx. But in order for us not to be considered a Latino gang, we took the S off the end and called it the Morale family, TMF. But we were all still Spades. And we had sisters, brothers, all.
This in the 80s?
This was actually it's like in the late 70s. Late 70s.
So you saying y'all transformed into something else?
It wasn't a transformation, but like I said, we had our crews. You know what I'm saying? This was our crew, TMF, the Morale family. That was our crew.
This was anything to do with hip hop at all?
Not really. We just went to the clubs. I mean, we went to Harlem World, the Renaissance, Audubon Ballroom. See, those were our stomping grounds. We're in the Bronx. You know, you had T Connection, Stardust, Club 371. You know, everybody in those group of Spades formulated in that certain area. So that's where that comes from. And it was like you hear people saying, like you just heard Bam say, it was there was no division per se or no chapters. Like he said, somebody jokingly said 37th chapter. I never heard of chapters.
Right.
Divisions was one thing, but a whole chapter, and he broke it down. The reason why you had to get to divisions, because the first division where it started from, they started expanding and getting bigger.
Right.
And people who wanted to be a part of that, who wasn't in that first division, said, hey, I'm all the way over here in Meshuggah Parkway. I'm all the way over here in Harlem. I'm all the way over here in the Lower East Side. We even had members from Chinatown who were Spades. Chinese, there was two in particular that was part of that Lower East Side Spade crew. And we all hung out together. No arguments, no fights. We just went up against other smaller gangs, you know, who started trouble in the neighborhood. That's what that was.
Let me ask you, did y'all, like, back then, the 70s, that's the Black Power movement.
Right.
I mean, you know, it was about your people then.
Right.
At least more than the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. It was more about your people.
Right.
So then, fast forward, you had the crack epidemic.
Right.
What happened during the crack epidemic? Like, I mean, I know a lot of Spades got strung out, and
right.
a lot of Spades was selling crack, and
right.
a lot of different things happened. But what happened with the Harlem chapter or Spades? Mm-hmm. What happened with the Harlem Spades during the crack?
Well, a lot of Harlem Spades really stayed intact.
Yeah.
And see, this is one thing people don't talk about because, like Bam Bam was saying, we only get together when it's a funeral, or maybe if somebody gets married. But we don't get together on a daily basis or a regular basis because we have, a once a year reunion. And if folks come through, they come through. If they don't, we don't see them again for another 5, 10, 15. Right. Some brothers here today, you ain't seen each other in 40 years.
Right.
So it's like, where the hell they been at? You know what I'm saying? So again, some folks got caught up on maybe crack. We had a unique crew of Spades because a lot of us specialized in certain things when we took that other realm. Like you talking about with the crack era, a lot of us, we came and we started robbing the drug dealers. We started raiding the crack dens. So that's what we were about back then.
Wow.
And me, being a new Black Panther member later, because there was a few of us who were Spades who were also Panthers, you heard me say there. And Sunshine was one. He was a Panther with us, and I completely forgot about the Black Soldier. I was a member of the Black Soldiers too.
Soldiers?
Black Soldiers. That came later.
Okay.
But Sunshine was the founder of that too. But again, it all comes from the Black Power movement, as you said, the Black Spades, the Young Lords Party, everybody in the community getting together, keeping the community intact. And with that crack era, that was by design. You know, they threw them drugs in there, threw them guns in there, and had us killing each other wholesale, had us all drugged out of our mind with the dope and the heroin and the PCP and all that other crazy stuff they had out. But again, certain individuals of us stayed together, stayed intact, and we just kept moving, keeping that Black Power, that unity intact.
Okay, so what's the answer for us black folk? I mean, Black Panther, you mentioned some strong movements. You was a Spade way back,
right.
Black Panther Party. What's the answer for us in 2017?
Wake up, stand up, and clean up.
Wake up, stand up, and clean up.
That's right. And also, like I said in the beginning of my introduction, I said complete constructive change.
Okay.
You know, because without any of that, all right, take care. Without any of that, we just gonna keep doing the same shit. You know, the interpretation of insanity is a person who keeps continually doing the same thing over and over but gets no results. All right, that's insanity. You know, so
right.
We have to have a change to go about with that. Because you know, I was telling the brother today, you know, we kill each other wholesale, but if you look deep in that mirror, I should see me. I should see you, and I should see us. Mm-hmm. You know, and as a people, we got to work together because then we came over here together like that. So why shouldn't we live amongst each other like that?
Okay, so let me break this down because that's such a cliche. We all know that we gotta unify. We all know we gotta come together. We use these phrases. So let me ask you: Is the answer political power? Do we all unify our vote? Is that an answer for black folk?
Not necessarily, because it's ironic you said unity because in the word community you got unity.
Right.
But on the flip side to that, you can't have nothing without an economic base. And without a military backing. Because so you have to have somebody.
Military.
Well, land. Finances and resources, but now how you gonna protect those resources?
Okay, so wait, so correct me if I'm wrong. You're talking about what I want to talk about, which is independence.
Right, that goes into it too.
But I'm talking about independence of America, totally independent.
Didn't we have that before?
No,
Before
when?
they came and stole it?
Okay,
We were
right,
independent.
right.
We had all the resources.
Right.
We had land.
Right.
We had a roof over our head.
So
we
you
had
saying
family.
in 2017, 18, 19, it's time for us to get our own land again?
It's been that time, but that's what we're talking about. I think Brother Guru said that about the Republic of New Africa. These is one of the reasons why they started the Black Spades, because they started off the shoulders of the Black Panther Party,
Right.
Republic of New Africa. Republic of New Africa wants that southern region to be a place of our own statehood, so to speak. Georgia, South Carolina, all those southern states.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that would be a way of gaining that kind of thing back. But what did the white people do? They went down there, they hung that old crazy flag, you know what I'm saying? That Confederate flag and all that crazy stuff, trying to hold us from doing it.
So what's the first step for us to get out of here?
I mean, you got to start.
And where do we go? Is there any land that we can occupy that's not already taken?
Yeah, matter of fact, remember when I told you before about us shutting down the crack houses and getting all the crack out of We have the grandmas and grandpas that's still there. A lot of them were still keeping those old tenement buildings. A lot of them were still keeping those backyards. You still had the garden program before they started calling them garden programs.
Okay.
Remember that? We was taking a little piece of that little side street. Of
So what you saying with that? You saying like, but that's still American owned though. That's still New York City owned.
What about you buying? I mean, just like we talk about these big drug dealers, why couldn't they have taken the resources they made in the drug game, like I think Ben Rock was saying, and opened up or bought that building had they sold in front of selling that crack? Buy that building and put the women who's having babies don't have nowhere to go. Put them in that building.
See, this is the thing. And I talk to black people every now and then about this. But understand, you're still talking about in context of living in America, paying taxes to this government. I'm talking about a totally our own Cuba.
That's
Our
cool.
own
But again,
Puerto
like you
Rico.
said, but
Our
again,
Puerto Rico.
okay.
Matter of fact, because Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth, so no.
Right.
Our own DR, Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Our own, with our money with our faces on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Easier
saying?
said than done, but are you
Right.
really prepared to do that now? Like right now?
Well, I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm ready to come into agreement, like minds.
Let me ask you this: do you have a passport?
See, that's what I mean. See, a passport is permission from this government for me to travel.
How would
I'm
you get
saying
there?
I want to break out of a passport. I want to say we are totally independent of this country. If we have a passport, that's what for our government.
But don't you have to get there though?
Not with their permission. I don't want their permission.
Okay.
They can't give me permission.
Without their permission, how would you get there?
That's what I'm saying. How do we get there?
That goes back to what I was saying. You have to have your own military, your own resources,
Right.
your own finances
Right.
to buy that plane or build that plane that you claim you want to get up out
Let
of
me
here.
ask you, how about first we got to have some unity, right? We got to formulate something, but then we negotiate with the Trumps. We negotiate with these senators and governors
But why, if you don't need permission, why are we negotiating with
because we don't have no land, and it seems as though all the land is occupied. They have satellites. They know all of the land, who is allotted to. They know all of that. So I'm saying we negotiate. Look, we want some land of our own. We don't want to live in America no more. We don't want to live among gay people. We don't want to be here no more.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is why they have these little pockets going this place and that place. There was a time where we had, like I said, those southern states on lockdown. We had our own farmland. We had our own crops. But what did they do? They came and they burned down. They
Because
pilfered.
we were still under their jurisdiction. We had to pay taxes to them. I want to end that
You ever heard of the Deacons of Defense?
a little bit.
Deacons for Defense?
A little bit. Not too
Okay.
much.
They were trying to shut that down. And these were pastors and deacons who formulated that, got their arms, trained, and got those crackers the hell up out of that southern area. And what did they do? They came by, they had the night raiders come by, burn their houses down, rape their women, all the same stuff they did to us. But isn't it ironic that they bring us here to do all that same stuff they did to us when they brought us here? So, again, I agree with you saying 100%, but you have to have a base for it, you have to have a foundation to go to that next level.
Okay, how about if I say our foundation is the Quran and the Bible?
But who's Quran and Bible?
What do you mean?
Those are texts that were written by someone, right?
Okay.
Again, like Bam Bam said, and I don't want to keep using his examples, but he's bringing up some good analogies. If we claim to be the native people here, and we were all right being spiritual people, why would we need that Bible that white man brought to us?
Because when we was natives, we got conquered, and we got conquered for a reason.
What was that reason?
We wasn't strong enough.
Again, going back to my military.
We wasn't strong enough.
Going back to building that
Right.
military and
Right.
the defense mechanism.
Right.
Khalif talked about that.
Right.
The martial arts and stuff, defending what is yours.
Right.
You're not going to go in his house and do nothing to his family and his protective mode,
Right.
his housing. You know what
But
I'm
now, see, this is the question. How do you unify your community? We all say we want unity, but how do you unify?
We had a system in the party called the 10-10. And you start with a small group. They even said now about so-called ISIS. They say they work in cell groups. So they always give these fantastic names for little groups or crews, like I was saying. You formulate 10 people. These 10 people, you pool your money, you pool your resources, you buy the land, you buy the building. Now you can build it up. You know who they said was crazy for doing that? Malachi Z. Father Divine,
Right.
Daddy Grace.
Right.
All these people were trying to do it. Marcus Garvey.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But what happened
Right.
every time they tried to do that? Black Wall Street. Every time we tried to unify and we were doing a damn good job of it. You understand what I'm saying? Black businesses, black land, black businesses, and what happened? Madam C.J. Walker, all these other people that came and got these millions, but they didn't pool their resources the correct way. Madam C.J. Walker, okay, you want to buy some sisters some wigs and some straighten your hair products to look like the white girl,
Right.
but you don't use your money to finance schools and community centers and other pockets of development that you could have bought. Madam C.J. Walker and all of us could have bought more land, more property. Marcus Garvey was in the right move, building that military and those ships and whatnot, making that newspaper to keep our people informed. So that was a way, that was a way to do it. I'm losing my voice. But again, that's where the Spades formulated. They saw all the craziness going on in the neighborhood. They didn't want black people, again, they didn't want black people to take their little corner, their little housing area. Who are these niggas that come in our community? But I think the secret's about to close.
Okay.
So that's what,
Before it closed, let me just drop this on you. As far as the Quran and the Bible, I say the Quran and the Bible because it actually gives you a blueprint on how to live. You know, as far as like we all don't eat pork.
right.
We all pray at this time of day. That's a unity. You know what I'm saying? And I think that foundation will build successful communities.